always had very successful people economically in this country. Our traditions have always been not to envy people who have made it. We look at people who have made it and congratulate them and see them as an inspiration for what we can do ourselves one day if that's what we desire from life. But the people who have made it can take care of themselves most of the time. I mean, they may not like big government or whatever implications government may have, but they can afford to hire the best lawyers in the country to figure it all out. If they really don't like it, they usually end up hiring the best lobbyists in America to try to influence the laws. Unfortunately, we've also have people in this country that are struggling, that are poor, that too many, who are living in dangerous neighborhoods and substandard housing, who are perhaps generationally trapped in failing schools, and we need to be a voice for them as well. And that's why I've always supported a safety net, not as a way of life, but certainly as a way to help people get back on their feet and try again. But the group that feels really forgotten is that vast middle class, the great American middle class. Everyday folks from all walks of life who, if they have to, they take out a second job, who have always made their mortgage payments on time even though it's a struggle, who've worked hard so that their kids can have a better life than them. And they look at all this today and they're really worried now, because all the rules that used to apply to our economy for so long don't seem to work anymore. You know, for decades we've been told if you work hard, you play by the rules, you can get ahead. It won't be easy, but you can get ahead. And now if you work hard and play by the rules, you can barely keep up, much less get ahead. You know, being a homeowner used to be still is, I guess, in the minds of many people, certainly it is to me. Being a homeowner is a cornerstone of the American dream. Now for many people it's become a burden. You know, sending your kids to college was a ticket to a better job. Now it's a ticket to a life of debt for many people that owe student loans. When I graduated, I had over $100,000 in student loans. Partially, you know, I didn't get good enough grades in high school to qualify for scholarships at the front end. But partially because my parents just didn't make enough money to save for our college education. And these folks in the middle class kind of look at this process and say, who speaks for us? Everybody else gets all the attention, but who's fighting for us? And how does this get better? And why is this happening? And so there's a few reasons why this is happening. The first is, you know, our economy isn't growing fast enough. And if I have one objection to none of this is not a partisan group, and I don't mean to be partisan about it, but if I have one objection to the president and to his party's view of things, is that they just think that government is the solution to all these problems. And while government has an important role to play, it is not what generates job and economic growth. And I'm here talking to a Chamber of Commerce who knows more about economic growth than anybody. But economic growth that leads to job creation is the product of a very simple equation. People start businesses or people grow existing ones. Someone has access to money, whether it's they maxed out the credit card or they borrowed it, or it's money that they saved, and they risk that money. It's a risk. There's no guarantee it's going to work, but you have this great idea. You think you can do a better job at it than your boss does, or you've been dying for years to turn your idea into a business, or you saw an empty storefront somewhere and you said, I wish I can open something there. And you risk whatever money you have access to because you believe so much in your dream. And it works. And suddenly that business begins to grow and you begin to hire people, thereby creating jobs for others. That's how the economy grows, as you well know. Government's job is to create an environment where doing that is easier, not harder.